of Management Studies IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course MMPC-002 Human Resource Management for MBA program. Presenting Block 4 Employer-Employee Relations, Unit-12 Employee Empowerment Part 1. After completing this unit, you should be able to understand the concept of employee empowerment, understand what empowerment is, understand quality circles, understand workers' participation in management, discuss forms and levels of participation, and describe workers' participation in management in different countries. Introduction. Traditional management system is based upon span of control and chain of command and direction and supervision. Such a system leads to dehumanized workplaces, repetitive, boring, frustrating, and alienated employees. Larger organizations block individual growth, their self-development and self-identity. Such a situation leads to apathy and waste of human activities and dysfunctional practices like restrictive, wasteful, and destructive functioning. In the words of Clarence Francis, chairman of General Food Corporation, you can buy a man's time, you can buy a man's physical presence at a given place, you can even buy a measured number of skilled muscular motion per day or per hour. But you cannot buy enthusiasm, initiative, loyalty. You cannot buy devotion of hearts, minds, and souls. You have to earn all these things. New crop of employees, young, intelligent, enthusiastic, and ambitious, is not in a position to tolerate such suffocating atmosphere. They are knowledgeable workers, they need information, they need participation, and they need autonomy, challenge, and want to contribute. It will be difficult to hold such employees in traditional organizations. Organization's greatest asset is its human resources, which are least used. An empowering organization is required to meet these requirements by adopting the elements of industrial democracy. Elements of industrial democracy which are discussed in this unit are empowerment, quality circle, and workers' participation in management. Contribution of behavioral science. According to Maslow, after satisfaction of physiological and safety needs, a person needs social affiliation, ego needs satisfaction, and self-actualization. Douglas McGregor's theory Y stipulates that a person needs positive atmosphere, conducive work culture, and encouraging work ethos to unfold his potential. Herzberg's two-factor theory clearly states that hygiene factors do not motivate. For motivation, another set of factors like autonomy, challenge, variety, etc. are required. Adams' equity theory talks of parity and non-discrimination as factors of motivation. The relatedness in Alderger's ERG theory clearly says that workers want to relate themselves socially to get motivated. McClelland's need theory has power, achievement, and affiliation as dominant factors for motivation. Participative management is focused more on achieving commitment by providing for all the mentioned motivational needs than simply extending decision-making power to the employees. It requires a change in culture which may include a series of items ranging from access to information, involvement in decision-making, sharing ownership, and redistribution of rewards, etc. In other words, it amounts to devolution of power to workplace. Power should be used to get work done than to stand over others. it has a motivational constituent, and it has to be used as a managerial strategy to strengthen employees' feeling of self-determination or self-efficacy. In fact, participation is a process of enhancing the feeling of self-efficacy among employees through identification of conditions that overcome powerlessness and foster empowerment. To enable the best in a man to come out, it is necessary for him to know why he is doing certain things and not others, and participation is a quest towards that end. He seeks meaning in his work and place in the organization, and that he finds in participation and not in traditional management. Empowerment. Empowerment is the process of passing authority and responsibility to individuals at lower levels in the organization hierarchy. To achieve empowerment, managers must be sure that employees at the lowest hierarchy levels have the right mix of information about process, quality, customer feedback, and events, knowledge of the work, the business, and the total work system, power to act and make decisions about the aspects of work, and rewards tied to business result and growth in the capability and contribution. Also to work autonomously or independently of management control and direction. The advantages of an empowerment or involvement are said to include higher quality products and services, less absenteeism, lower turnover, better decision making, and better problem solving, which in turn results in greater organizational effectiveness. However, the question of how much will be empowerment remains a paradox to be addressed by managerial judgment. Characteristics of empowered organization. Companies with a high level of job autonomy usually have these characteristics. Number 1. They invest a lot of time and effort in hiring to make sure new recruits can handle workplace freedom. Their organizational hierarchy is flat. Number 2. They set loose guidelines so workers know their decision-making parameters. Number 3. Accountability is paramount, results matter more than the process. Number 4. High quality performance is always expected. Number 5. Openness and strong communication is encouraged. And number 6. Employee satisfaction is the core value. Guidelines for introducing empowerment. Number 1. Understanding why the organization is making the change and what it wants to achieve. Number 2. Selecting strong leaders to head the change. Number 3. Involving people in planning how to introduce empowerment. Number 4. Creating transition project teams to test and coordinate efforts and communicating results. Number 5. Providing training in new skills and behaviors. Number 6. Establishing symbols of change. And number 7. Acknowledging and rewarding achievements. Benefits of empowerment. Empowerment benefits the organization itself by creating an environment which encourages proactively problem solving, accepting challenge, innovation, continuous improvement, optimum utilization of employees, a high degree of employee motivation, and enhancement of business performance. For employees, empowerment provides a sense of high self-esteem, high degree of involvement and participation, a learning environment opportunity for personal growth and development, and a greater sense of achievement. Replacing the fear and greed hierarchy with network of empowered workers creates benefits like faster responses, loyal customers, high quality, lower cost, greater productivity, and employee orientation. Empowerment is an important process in the organization to foster the decision-making issues and to motivate the employees who get immense job satisfaction. In the contemporary business environment, empowerment is essential to be more competitive and productive. In most of the organizations, empowerment is not practiced in true spirit because of the absence of a positive organizational culture that believes in trust, transparency, and employee development. In spite of a lot of discussion and approval on empowering employees, in reality it has not been implemented in the true sense in Indian corporations. In most of the organizations, the senior management have preached the relevance of empowerment, but unfortunately, very few of them have actually empowered people. The HR professionals need to initiate work culture in influencing the organization to make the step-down method a success. Empowerment is catching on among Indian managers. Companies as diverse as Titan, Reliance, ABB, Tata Information Systems, GE Plastics India, and Philips are empowering employees, both frontline as well as production staff. Wipro Corporation has 29 such teams and their number is expected to go up to 130. Wipro Infotech, on the other hand, has 10 such teams and the plan is to hike them to around 45 to 50. At Reliance, divisional heads run their divisions like managing directors run their companies. Quality Circle. There are various forms and styles of participative management. One of them, which is widely applied and practiced, is quality circles. The quality circle concept first originated in USA, which was very successfully applied in Japan afterwards. This technique boosted the Japanese firms to endeavor for high-quality products at low cost. Let us look at the organization of quality circle technique. Basically, it consists of a group organization of 8 to 10 employees who meet each other during a meeting which is held once in a week, fortnight or month depending upon the problems and their frequency of generation. These members discuss various problems related to quality. They recommend alternative solutions to solve the problems by investigating the causes. Depending upon the recommendations, corrections are made. Corrections are checked and then accepted as a norm if the solution works. They generally hold their meeting in the organization premises. They are generally given a room where they can meet and think and come out with solution to problems. These employees basically have a shared area of responsibilities. This leads to a good participative environment and greater acceptability of decisions. Since the employees are not very good at analyzing and decision making, the part of quality making, the part of quality circle, includes teaching employees group communication skills, quality strategies and measurement and problem analysis techniques. Workers' participation in management. Workers' participation in management is a highly complex concept. The notion that workers should participate in the management of enterprises which employ them is not a new concept. It has apparently existed since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. However, its importance increased gradually over a period of years due to the growth of large-scale enterprises, increase in workforce, paternalistic philosophy and practice of informal consultation. Moreover, the growth of professionalism in industry, advent of democracy and development of the principle of social justice, transformation of traditional labor management relations have added new dimensions to the concept of participative management. The philosophy underlying workers' participation stresses: number 1, democratic participation in decision making. Number 2, maximum employer-employee collaboration. Number 3, minimum state intervention. Number 4, realization of a greater measure of social justice. Number 5, greater industrial efficiency. And number 6, higher level of organizational health and effectiveness. It has been varyingly understood and practiced as a system of joint consultation in industry, as a form of labor management cooperation, as a recognition of the principle of co-partnership and as an instrument of industrial democracy. Consequently, participation has assumed different forms, varying from mere voluntary sharing of information by management with the workers to formal participation by the latter in actual decision-making process of management. Workers' participation in management is mental and emotional involvement in group situation, which encourages workers to contribute to group goals and share responsibility. Participation has three ideas. Number one, participation means mental and emotional involvement rather than mere muscular activity. A person's self is involved rather than his body. It is more psychological than physical. Number two, idea in participation is that it motivates persons to contribute to achievement of organizational goals by creative suggestions and initiatives. And number three, it encourages people to accept responsibility. They are ready to work with the manager instead of against him. To put it briefly, it is team working together for a common purpose. It is a notion of industrial democracy, and workers have a greater say over their work situation. Objectives of workers' participation in management. The objectives of workers' participation in management are: number one, to raise the level of motivation of workers by closer involvement. Number two, to provide opportunity for expression and to provide a sense of importance to workers. Number three, to develop ties of understanding leading to better effort and harmony. Number four, to act on a device to counterbalance powers of managers. And number five, to act on a panacea for solving industrial relation problems. Elements of participation. The term participation has different meanings for different purposes in different situations. McGregor is of the view that participation is one of the most misunderstood ideas that has emerged from the field of human relations. Keith Davis has defined the term participation as the mental and emotional involvement of a person in a group situation which encourages him to contribute to group goals and share responsibilities in them. This definition envisages three important elements in participation. Firstly, it means mental and emotional involvement rather than mere physical activity. Secondly, participation must motivate a person to contribute to a specific situation to invest his own resources, such as initiative, knowledge, creativity, and ingenuity in the objectives of the organization. And thirdly, it encourages people to share responsibility for a decision or activity. Sharing of responsibility commits people to ensure the success of the decision or activity. Forms of participation. Let's now discuss different forms of participation. Collective bargaining. Collective bargaining results in collective agreements which lay down certain rules and conditions of service in an establishment. Such agreements are normally binding on the parties. Theoretically, collective bargaining is based on the principle of balance of power, but in actual practice, each party tries to outbid the other and get maximum advantage by using, if necessary, threats and counter-threats like strikes, lockouts, and other direct actions. Joint consultation, on the other hand, is a particular technique which is intended to achieve a greater degree of harmony and cooperation by emphasizing matters of common interest. Workers prefer to use the instrument of collective bargaining rather than ask for a share in management. Workers' participation in the USA has been ensured almost exclusively by means of collective agreements and their application and interpretation rather than by way of labor representation in management. Works councils. These are exclusive bodies of employees assigned with different functions in the management of an enterprise. in West Germany, the works councils have various decision-making functions. In some countries, their role is limited only to receiving information about the enterprise. In Yugoslavia, these councils have wider decision-making powers in an enterprise like appointment, promotion, salary fixation, and also major investment decisions. Joint management councils and committees. Mainly these bodies are consultative and advisory, with decision-making being left to the top management. This system of participation is prevalent in many countries, including Britain and India. As they are consultative and advisory, neither the managements nor the workers take them seriously. Board representation. The role of a worker representative in the board of directors is essentially one of negotiating the workers' interest with the other members of the board. At times, this may result in tension and friction inside the boardroom. The effectiveness of workers' representative at the board depends upon his ability to participate in decision making, his knowledge of the company affairs, his educational background, his level of understanding, and also on the number of worker representatives in the board. Workers' ownership of enterprise. Social self-management in Yugoslavia is an example of complete control of management by workers through an elected board and work council. Even in such a system, there exist two distinct managerial and operative functions with different sets of persons to perform them. Though workers have the option to influence all the decisions taken at the top level, in actual practice, the board and the top management team assume a fairly independent role in taking major policy decisions for the enterprises, especially in economic matters. Prerequisites for effective participation. The prerequisites for the success of any scheme of participative management are: firstly, there should be a strong democratic and representative unionism for the success of participative management. Secondly, there should be mutually agreed and clearly formulated objectives for participation to succeed. Thirdly, there should be a feeling of participation at all levels. Fourthly, there should be effective consultation of the workers by the management. Fifthly, both the management and the workers must have full faith in the soundness of the philosophy underlying the concept of labor participation. Sixthly, till the participative structure is fully accepted by the parties, legislative support is necessary to ensure that rights of each other are recognized and protected. Seventhly, education and training makes a significant contribution to the purposeful working of participative management. And lastly, forums of participation, areas of participation, and guidelines for implementation of decisions should be specific, and there should be prompt follow-up action and feedback. Effects of participative decision making, that is PDM. The participation improves both employability and motivation. Ability is improved primarily through communication and information sharing, which results in more informed employees who are better able to contribute creative ideas to the success of the enterprise. Motivation is improved in part because employees tend to set higher goals participatively than management does unilaterally, and in part because the process causes individuals to become ego-involved and committed and to exert pressure on themselves and their co-workers to ensure that their decisions are sound and their goals are met. The act of participating can also increase employees' sense of trust and control, which may lower their resistance to new ways of doing things. On the attitudinal side, some find that participation, like job enrichment, meet their needs for challenge and accomplishment, that is growth causing satisfaction. You were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program. Course code MMPC-002 Human Resource Management. Course Coordinator Professor Nayantara Padhi from School of Management Studies, IGNOU. Voiceover by Harpreet Kaur. Edited by Tarannum Jahan. Program assisted by Jagbandhu Jana. Program produced by Dr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.